Hello and welcome back to Factorio Space Age, where I am preparing to go to Gleba. Excuse me, Aquilo. Already did the Gleba thing, didn't I? Sorry. Gleba and Aquilo are the two that basically are the strangest for me. They're the biggest changes in gameplay. Gleba, because of all of its spoilage, where you have to go through the mantra of everything spoils, so a backed up belt is a bad thing now. Backed up belts on Nauvis are still a really good thing, and we're still not backing them up all the time. We are currently researching asteroid productivity. I am thinking that for what we're doing next, cancel that, I'm going to want stronger explosives. I'm going to go up through stronger explosives 10, because explosive damage is the kind of damage you get from rockets. And while I know that our current ships are good enough, even without uncommon or rare quality rocket launchers, to make it to Aquilo, if we can spend fewer rockets in that process, that will be better. And increasing the damage of each rocket will mean fewer rockets. Yay! That's what we want. Secondly, I want to figure out what we want to take with us and what we want to do on Aquilo. So let's look at our transit guy. Let's bring up our normal starters. So normal starter here has all of this stuff. I think we're going to extend this just as a normal starter thing. I'm going to try to remember to memorialize this. We want to get a little bit of everything going in. So let's see, what do we not have on our normal starter? We've got green belts, cool. Obviously we need to add stack inserters. Bring the power out here. I'm going to start organizing this a little bit. Belt, belt, belt. And inserters. Like that. In fact, I want my starter. No. Let's not get into this. I could spend a long time reorganizing this and would end up with a starter that could only be filled by already having started everybody. Okay, so the starter is what it is. Let's add a few things though. So we're going to say if plants are available, take some. And if heating towers are available, take some. And if what else do we want to take if they're available? Biochambers. Boundaries. There we go. So if these things are all available, we're going to grab some. And notice it's trying to grab them from their original places, which means now a standard starter, you would go visit the planets to go get the things. That's fine. Now I'm going to add a starter specifically for Aquilo. We're going to pattern it after this starter. Oops. I'm going to rename it. The Aquilo starter. So anything that I need on Aquilo that I don't have elsewhere. Now for Gleba, I specifically said bring in this stuff. That's fine. But I'm going to start with a larger collection of nuclear fuel. I'm going to start with a smaller number of nuclear reactors and a smaller number of of heat exchangers and a smaller number of turbines, like that. So we're going to start with a very small nuclear reactor out on Aquilo, but we're going to have a huge number of heat pipes. I also am going to need to do an import. So we're going to start with the Gleba import. Fulgora import's fine. I'm not holding down control, so it won't rename it elsewhere. So the things I want to import regularly to Aquilo. It's just a regular stock update. So things that I think I'm going to be needing regularly or might need regularly. What is unique about Aquilo? And we're going to turn off those. What is unique is that we are going to be potentially using a lot more offshore pumps. We already have some in slot 26. Here. Like that. I'll just put these here. Oh, heat pipes. Yeah, we need all the heat pipes on Aquilo. So what I'm going to do is every trip, I'm going to make sure that we have at least 200 heat pipes on us. Okay. Our starter has 500. We're going to grab another 200. Let's start these going in. I am going to have a courier bringing uranium fuel around. Which leads me to another thing. I want to make a copy of this. I want to build a second space platform. I'm going to build several of them. Let's build 3. Start those going. They're going to be copies of this, but not using the rares. I'm not going to have the rares available. And the way I'm going to fix that is I'm going to reverse these guys. So basically, take this and put it down here. Now what I need to roll back, rare gun turrets are no longer a thing. So, rare gun turrets turn into normal gun turrets, and uncommon gun turrets turn into regular gun turrets. And you need to go into a proper place. I'm going to call this Q.1 space. So that I can go back here and I can upgrade this. Save blueprint. What else do we have that is higher quality? Well, there's cargo. So cargo bays. Quality 3 becomes 1. Cargo bays. Quality 2 becomes 1. Save that off. I want to upgrade Q1 space. Who else is there? We have rocket launchers, which are uncommon. Let's roll all of them back, and we'll include rares in case we got some rares set up. I'm going to set this whole thing up just to be a general rollback to quality level 1. And today is vacuuming day, so I may need to pause from time to time to go deal with things for the vacuum. You can hear it there in the background, maybe. Okay, now we go back to our thingy and we upgrade, downgrade, Q1 space, save blueprint. Is there anything else that is quality? Yeah, the grabbers. I really want rare grabbers, but we wanted to have the normal grabbers installed first. And in fact, if we're going to take some damage, I need to have spares. I think I just need to do normal quality on everything. The more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm thinking that we don't want to be using rares at all until we have a bunch of them coming in. So we may be rolling the grabbers back on our main guy too. Well, the main guy we're going to be riding with mainly. So if he gets damaged, we can have stuff ready to go. There we go. Select new contents. Upgrade from Q1 space. So you are now a blueprint that has no quality items. And I can use you to upgrade to set up these guys. That's very important. The thing I want to worry about is in the blueprints that I use to do the iterative build. If applied as they were, we might not end up with the green wire from the hub to the first inserter. So always check that when doing the build. If you don't do that, what will happen is we will just keep increasing the quantities of ammunition in the hub without limit, which is a bad thing because that will keep us from building up a supply of materials on the bus that we need to make our fuel. Anyway, things get weird if you try to make too much ammo. Okay. I'm going to need a rocket to take me up, so let's turn off automatic requests from one of these guys so I can actually catch a rocket up. I won't be actually building these, but we're all set to go. So we've got the starter. Is there any, let me walk through in my head what we're going to do when we get there. We're going to go to the various other places to pick up all of our stuff. So we'll visit Fulgora. What I want to do is do an all requests satisfied on every one of these. But I don't want to unload. Oops. And I also want to have a circuit condition on the last one before we go to Aquilo. Don't know which one that's going to be. I'm going to fix the order in a moment. So, all requests satisfied and stop, all requests satisfied and stop, satisfied and stop, satisfied and stop. We're not picking up anything here. So the order after Nauvis is going to be Vulcanus, Gleba, Fulgora. So Nauvis to Vulcanus to Gleba to Fulgora. I don't want to actually pause on those. We're waiting here until I'm aboard. We will pause at Fulgora before we head to Gleba or to Aquilo so I can verify what's going on. As we get there, we're going to wait until I release it. Okay, nuclear reload says if we ever have less than 50 cargo, we are going to go to Nauvis next. Actually, ever have less than 10, we're going to Nauvis, and we're going to wait at Nauvis until we have at least 50. We are not going to wait for anything else, really. So we're not going to wait there until we have the rest of the stuff. If we are importing, for instance, we'll just continue with what we were doing. Save interrupt. Generally, we want 100 uranium fuel cells aboard. Now, if I am importing fuel cells here, I would need to make sure, if we're importing 100 here, that means we're going to download 500 of them. So it gets a little dicey, which means I'm going to be doing a special courier to run the nuclear fuel out, which is why we are starting with 500 fuel here. We're waiting for all of this stuff, some of which we can get from Nauvis and some of which we can't. We're fine. We're going to put this in platforms. This is an Aquilo-capable platform. And it has, well, it is, I'm going to just, I think I'll just put Aquilo on the front piece here. So that's saved. And please send me up to the Aquilo Transit. Now, we're not going to leave right away. I need to go over our plans for what happens when we get to Aquilo. Oh, I forgot to check what my loadout was on my armor. Frick. I am still wearing the armor configuration from the other planets. It's not going to be right. Challenge on Aquilo for the armor is going to be that my robots are going to require a lot more stuff. We don't require those. I need a lot more reactor space. We could put 2 more reactors in. We could put 3 more reactors in. Okay. Do I have the ability to make Mark III batteries? Please tell me I do. Crafting. You. Can I make Mark III batteries? That requires superconductors. Supercapacitors. Am I importing supercapacitors from Gleba? From Fulgora? I am not importing supercapacitors. Let's do that. Since we just got Fulgora set up, we're going to do supercapacitors. Rocket capacity is 500, so we're going to request 100. We're going to maintain stock of 500, which means the first rocket we get is going to load up our stock. Or I could say bring us up to 2,000 stock. What are supercapacitors good to make? They're going to be needed for the portable fusion reactor, which we're going to really want. The rest of this stuff is made on, this will allow us to make personal batteries. You're a long ways away. I wonder if I could just make the personal batteries on Fulgora. Then we make personal batteries Mark II. We could just make those there. Okay, we won't bother with that then. I won't bother with importing the supercapacitors. Let's go get the better batteries being made on Fulgora. So, let's check this out. What can I make them in? They have to be in assembling machine 3s. Okay. You. Some of the machine 3s, we're making the Mark III batteries. And I only need to stock like 10 of them. Okay, you are going to be making the Mark II batteries. And I also need to only stock like 10 of you. If I look at this, this says that I would need 5 of these machines to run this guy at full speed. You know what, I think I'm going to put in let's move this somewhere I can build a bigger build. I do want to get a bunch of these out in a hurry. First one in there. Oh, that's wrong. There we go. Okay. If I move all of these up one, that can go in like that. Let's make sure I am getting my efficiency modules put in place here. And now the personal battery, Mark 1. And again, we only need 10 in stock. And to keep all of this running, oh, none of these are Mark IIIs. What did I do with the Mark III? I guess I wiped it out in the process. Yeah. You are Mark III. So we're going to have to actually hop down here to pick those up. Okay, so we have right number there, and this would need 48 more of those. What if I speed module them and speed beacon them? What does that get me? Oh, come on. We're making modules on this place, right? Right? No. I don't believe all of this. But first I need to build this, but first I need to build that. Where you know it, you're shaving a yak. Come on, big guns. Big guns. Big guns. Okay, so with all these in place, this is getting closer, but I think to grab this, two down there, two down there, pick these guys up and put these down here. And just because I am paranoid, I'm going to put lightning protectors in like that. Okay, space platform has been created. Well, I'm not going to start filling those in until we are sure we're ready to go here. So we are almost there. Now, I'm thinking that I probably will want to reduce this configuration once we actually have our batteries built. I just want them in a hurry so that they'll be here when I get here. So transit. When you get to Fulgora, you're stopping at Fulgora so I can pick up my batteries. So we'll get better batteries. I am going to reduce the number of bots that I'm flying. I'm going to put in more batteries here. I want 3 more reactors. So logistics, add section, get me, please, 3 more reactors. I'm going to head down to where I'm almost ready to go here. Turn off logistics, delete the group, and we are putting in the reactors like that. We'll be getting batteries on Fulgora. This leaves us with 50 robots and a lot of charging capability, and I'll have more battery capability, and we still have some exoskeletons. We don't have any shields, we don't have any weapons, we don't have any armor, we don't have any defenses. It's just a couple of exoskeletons and reactors. I am ready to go. So, crash unrequested. Travel to space platform. I'm going to transit. And you can go back to automatic once you've launched me. So please drop me when we get to Fulgora. And what I want to do is monitor this. We should be picking up turbo transport belts from Vulcanus. We should be picking up mining drills from Vulcanus and foundries from Vulcanus. Mining drills and foundries on Vulcanus. Okay, and on Gleba, we should be picking up recyclers and electromagnetic plants. Actually, no, that's Fulgora. Gleba, we pick up that guy. Fulgora, we pick up those guys. Here, we're picking up all this stock stuff. And for imports, do we want a steady import of anything from that list? I don't think so. We'll add it if it looks like we're going to be using it. We don't need a steady import of cliff explosives, I think. We've got some... Well, just in case, let's put some in the starter. Those actually come from Nauvis. We can leave them on Vulcanus. We're good to go. Okay, so now we can go to Able 1. And I'm going to start outfitting you. I'm going to drop you down. Now, Able 1 is not going to be any of this stuff. Able 1 is just going to be this for now. We'll figure out what we want to do. He may end up being our nuclear fuel courier. We'll see how we feel about that when we get there. So, monitors. I mentioned the LEDs as I was bringing things up. Upper left-hand side is will be reddish because of all the iron ore. And it's got some blue and some green for coal and metallic asteroid chunks, okay? So we're not going to be memorizing that. But what this means is that we don't want to be truly saturated. We want it to be nice and bright, with something nice and high, and not completely saturated. This guy, it's kind of dim, but nice solid red glow saying we've got all sorts of iron plate, and the other two colors are non-zero. Deep purple. Again, nobody's zero, so it's kind of palish. All these are kind of a pale pastel because there's none that are zero. Mostly green, saying we've got a lot of rockets. Mostly purple, saying we've got explosives and carbon. We could get more calcite here. I probably should reconfigure this to have more calcite going at some point, but yeah. Mostly green says we've got rockets. So the green component, as long as there's a green component, we're good. Purple again. So this is basically the same thing. Anyway, so that's what those look like. You just glance at that, and if it looks odd, you'll learn what odd looks like fairly quickly. And you can always go back and look at this and say, what have I got? I wonder, is there something I can look at? I'm not sure there's anything I can look at that just gets me the numbers. Or you can just have faith. I like faith. Faith is good. I think we're ready to go. So, half an hour into the thingy, and I am going to start us off. We're going to unleash ourselves from Nauvis, and it will proceed to pick up stuff at Vulcanus and Gleba and stop at Fulgora. I need to go open the door. I'll be right back. Actually, I'm going to pause the recording here for a moment. I need to prevent the cat from getting into trouble while we're vacuuming places that cat's not supposed to go. I will be right back. Okay. I noticed as I was walking by that we are on Fulgora, which means we have obviously picked up all of the stuff we were looking for. We have fulfilled our requests. We have all of this stuff delivered to us. And I got dumped down here because I need to pick up my batteries. The easy way for me to do that is just to request them in. Oh, there goes the cat. Keep an eye on her. Hey, meow, what you doing? You going in there? She likes to monitor the vacuum. She also likes to climb up on my wife's counter and grab things, which is not good. Okay, so we've got some batteries. I am going to scrub all of this stuff because we no longer need to be producing in quantity. And we are going to reduce ourselves back to efficiency modules. We'll keep making sure that these are made, but with efficiency modules instead. And not an infinite number of them. So we'll just go there. There we go. Now, configuring us. Okay, I tossed the batteries back before I put them in the suit. Okay, let's try this again. I take out the personal batteries Mark II, put in the personal batteries Mark III, go back to this, turn off, turn off, turn off, and we are ready to go back to where we came from. And I'm hoping that we get charged up before we get there. So we have deep batteries, very deep batteries. Battery capacity is 1.5 gigajoules. And we are producing how much energy? Does it say? It doesn't say how much energy we're producing. Okay, max output 750 kilowatts by 5 is 3 point something megawatts. It's going to take a while to fill up. This means that we can, in bursts, let the bots go do things. But if that battery gauge starts to fall, we need to pull our bots in and wait for the fission reactors to fill it all back up. So I used to think that reactors in my suit were like the bee's knees. Well, apparently the good reactors, the nuclear reactor looking ones aren't that good anymore. What you really want are not on this list. These guys. And this requires a whole bunch of technologies we don't have yet. I need to go check on the cat. I'll be in a second. Let me get launched though. Travel to space platform. Okay, a momentary pause while I do one last double check, and then we will head on towards Aquilo. Okay, we are back. Are we ready to go? Do I have everything? Got all of these things. I've got all of these things. I've got all the imports and all the starters and all the stuff. We've got cargo landing pad. We have more cargo bays that I'm going to use because we have a small space to look at. Double checking, we have substations, we have nuclear reactors and reactor parts, and a whole ton of heat pipes. Good, we're ready to go. Deep breath. Can we get to Aquilo safely? I think we can. My test runs worked. So, heading away from a planet, you have 10 kilometers a second velocity toward the planet that you're closest to, plus whatever velocity you get based on your engines pushing you to a speed. As we generate thrust with the engines, that accelerates us, but based on the thrust, there's a maximum speed. So I think we treat it like friction. And the wider the ship, the lower our max speed. So it's kind of like, instead of, width of the ship stands in for mass, and we don't have Newtonian physics here. We have friction as we go through space. It's like, this is more like a submarine, okay, than a spaceship. And at the halfway point, suddenly we are going to increase our speed from 160 to 180 kilometers a second, because now our 10 meters per second drift rate is toward the destination. This is an open loop control system. What it's doing is it is sending in 120 units of fuel per second. It's doing that by pulsing this guy. He does 1,200 per second. We're turning him on one cycle and then off for 9 cycles. So that adds up. Our efficiency has been around 90% this whole time, which is pretty good. You get max efficiency down at 50 kilometers a second, and that is really slow. If you're going slow, you have more time to shoot the asteroids coming in from in front of you. So these big asteroids have 2,000 health, and supposedly the rockets are currently doing 200 damage, plus another 660 for the explosion. That's 860 total. So we want to get some more explosives done here to get that explosive damage up, so it only takes 2 rockets to kill one of those big guys. I think currently it's taking 3, and we're shooting a lot more. Oh, that was 2 of them. Okay. And here we are at Aquilo. Haha! Dropped planet. Whee! And there's the achievement for visiting Aquilo. Huzzah, we have visited Aquilo now. I've come here in editor mode, but I've never come here in a real game. Exciting. Okay, so first step is I need you to send down the landing pad and the cargo bays. Whoops. Here, landing pad. I'm going to send down these uncommon ones. Oh wait, no, I need the uncommon ones for repairs. Never mind. No, I need rares for repairs. Okay, let's send down the uncommon ones and use them. I only need 5 of them though. Let's send down all 10. Now, I need to make some robots, so we're going to do boom, 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 so I get some robots going. I'm going to need to put down some substations for power, and we are going to be building the reactor first thing, so we're going to get that warmed up. We'll get those 2. I'm going to take all of the heat pipe, all of those guys. I'm going to take 1 stack of fuel. Okay, that should be good enough for us to get going. Oh, and we, I forgot to do. I forgot to load concrete, tons and tons and tons of concrete, and this is going to be a constant thing. So we only have 100. I need to bring 1,000 every load. That's going to be a problem. Okay, let's get this all picked up. So 200. That's not a lot of concrete. Do not trash unrequested. Thank you. Landing pad needs to come in somewhere convenient. I am going to want to put down a real grid, aren't I? Let's set up a substation grid here on Nauvis and blueprint it, and then I will figure out where I want to put it. Actually, I need to put this in useful many places. SS grid, call it subgrid 5x5. So the question is, where do I want to put this that minimizes the amount of stuff I need to put down to get a whole bunch of area? That actually looks good right there. How is this lining up? I have no idea if this is evens or odds or whatever. That's actually even better. This gets me 4 full areas here before I need to put down so if I hold down shift, it's going to try to put down stuff. I need to put down an Aquilo deconstruction planner. Now, for now, I'm going to say pick up tile ghosts. That's going to cancel not just the tile ghosts, but anything that's on top of the tile ghosts. It's not going to be able to build those. I'm going to be placing them by hand. This is because I don't want the robots automatically placing any. Okay, that's... Whoops. Can't build on brash ice. Is that the ice that I need concrete for? Okay, that needs ice platform. Okay, so we're not going to do that. Grab you. Oh, and that unlocked lithium processing. Aquilo ocean. Okay. That's an ocean build. That's an ocean build. These are all ocean build squares. What I'm doing here is I'm just figuring out where I can put my substations and get a decent grid going. Or even an indecent grid. So there's substations. And if I look at this, there's where I've got power. So it looks like these 4 squares here are good, and then we've got some more stuff that we can expand into. Cool. So, crafting. I need robots. We've got all of these things that we've never looked at in our crafting menu, huh? Let's grab 50 robots. I'm going to turn on personal roboports. head back to Aquilo. This is Aquilo site grab. Well, let's use the icon in the front. Okay, so things on Aquilo we need to pick up. It's probably not a lot. If there's cliffs here, I'll mark them. I don't think there are. These are all... I doubt I will ever see any big rocks or huge rocks, but if I do, I'm going to mark them. These are all Fulgora, so ice and ice. I think that's it. So I'm going to mark everything within reach on this island, and then some. And my little bots are going to go pick up stuff for me. And I need to go move some doors. There, mission accomplished. The sensitive area of the house that the cat gets into and shouldn't is now vacuumed, and the cat's not in it. It's now closed up. Yay! I meant to pause before I did that. Anyway, my bots are slowly picking up things and recharging. Let's just get all of this picked up here. So what do I want to do with this? I really want to put him kind of in the middle. He's on... Oh. Our grid is even odd wrong. I am going to put you in right like that. We'll deal with that later. And you guys... Okay, let's set up something like that. We put it where we can put it. If I use shift, those actually, okay. You know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm going to go ahead and move my grid to the right a little bit. Just one square to the right, and we'll still get most of this stuff. So I can use this to delete everything out to here and everything out to there. Okay, we now have a landing pad with cargo space. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to start requesting these stuff. So we're going to start with the starter. And then we're going to add in the Aquilo starter. We're going to add in the Aquilo import. For now, we're just going to do X1. Am I listing anything dangerous here to request too many of? I think I'm good. Let's go pick up the rest of this stuff. So, add section. This is going to be my special new section for the stuff I carry on just Aquilo. So this is Aquilo carry. What do I want to do here? I want to be carrying a stack of substations. And I want to be carrying a stack of heat pipe. We'll put things in here as I need them, or as I know I'm going to need them. Let's have 2 stacks of heat pipes. Obviously, nothing's going to happen until I get more stuff going. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start there. So it looks like I have that much space to do real stuff with. Oh boy, not a lot of space here. Let's see if I can increase the amount of ice platforms. We want to get to where we are making ice platforms. That's our main goal. See, these robots are really running out of energy very fast. And it's not just because I'm on X16. I believe I have picked up all the stuff from above. So if I do it in a small area first, it works out much better. Okay. So that's ice platforms. You've picked up a bunch of stuff. I am going to kill off starters. You're going to go back and get another import. And that's going to include a ton of concrete. Let's put 2,000 concrete as our quantity that we're picking up on Nauvis. Let's make sure Nauvis is set up to produce all that concrete. We have 40 machines making concrete up here, and they're all completely idle. And we have how much concrete in our logistics? We have 4,000. Okay. Also notice that we have a ton of spoilage. I need to do something about the spoilage. Holy smoke. Shall we pause for a moment and deal with the spoilage? So if I say spoilage here, it doesn't take us to the boxes that have the spoilage. But it's got to be in our standard inventory stuff here. Yeah, here we are, down here. Okay, so how you deal with spoilage. I'm going to put in one of the. I'm going to put in 2 of these guys like this. Okay. And you are going to be running these guys, and these are all going to say logistic network connect. So if our current level of spoilage is over, say, 8,000, we're going to enable and we're going to move spoilage from our box into there. And then we put down buffer boxes in case we want to use it, like that. And these are going to be trash unrequested, spoilage, and we're going to bring in 2,000 spoilage. Greater than 8K. There we go. So that is going to basically just chomp through the spoilage like crazy until it gets down to 8,000. It is 200. That's 2,000. 8,000 is one box full. Hey, how about 16,000? We can tolerate 2 boxes full. Which means each one of these I want to be requesting in 8,000. So the 2,000 will be left in these boxes. And we'll be able to request in a ton more. Okay, back to where we are here. I just want you going between Nauvis and Aquilo right now. I don't have any imports here that are not Nauvis, right? Yeah, we're good. Heat pipes, that's going to bring us up to a stock of 1,200 at a time. That's good. Okay, and you are not actually delivering nuclear to Gleba. However, Gleba will be requesting... Oh no, Gleba will be requesting nuclear. I need to not drop nuclear fuel from here. I think I need to get a stock of nuclear fuel going here before this guy does anything. No, I think this guy's just going to need to run it. Yeah, we're just going to need to do the nuclear fuel on this guy. So we're going to do that. Okay, so I put 50 in there. He wanted to download 250. We now have excessive amounts of fuel locally. Satisfaction 500 out of 550. You are left with some fuel. Good. So you just need to go back and forth between these two guys. You'll be bringing me fuel and everything else. Okay, so first thing we need solar panels. And we need accumulators. I am going to need to put down new stuff on my hotbar because this is all just not right for Aquilo. Boom, 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 boom. So a nuclear runner would be very nice for this. Let's see. I have an Able 1. You have no power because we didn't send you up anything to seed your power with. So we're going to put those in. I forgot about that. When you're building these guys, they do require solar power. Request you in. We'll have to... The solar panel power will serve to seed these guys, and we'll just have to wait for this guy to do the right thing. You are going to be... you are the Gleba nuclear fuel on uranium fuel cell courier. So when you're at Nauvis, you're going to be picking up an extra 50 of these guys. Okay. And 50 is what we're going to be requesting on the other end. Now we've seeded the other end to be okay. So as long as we're seeded, we're good. Add station Aquilo. We want to wait for just the same as those. So item count, rocket. Greater than or equal to, come on, 400. Item count, bananas, greater than or equal to 400. We are going to wait here until we have sent down all of the nuclear fuel we brought with us. Okay. Add section. This is for the fuel, depleted uranium fuel cells. We're going to leave this turned off because we don't have any rockets leaving yet. Whoops. And let's see, we're depleted uranium fuel cell, and you are importing from Aquilo. Leave you off so you don't wait for it, but we'll be willing to pick up some of those. Notice here we are not waiting for all requests complete. I can put 500 here. It will continually bring these up until these conditions are met, at which point it will go home. Actually, let's do that. All requests satisfied here. I am going to set this. No, I'm not. I was thinking of doing allow interrupting other interrupts. Maybe it would cause us to not download the last bits of our fuel, but I bet you that's not going to work. Okay, I want you to be pause thrust because we still haven't seeded this. We need to wait for the reactors to get to temperature, and they have. We waited long enough for that. We need to wait until we have some water. Water is kind of hard to get around Nauvis, but it is what it is. So uranium Courier is doing that. Transit. If we're going to do the Courier, then this import goes away. So we're just picking up fuel for ourselves. We're not going to be sending fuel down to Nauvis, although we will end up sending fuel down to Nauvis. I think for now, just to make sure that I don't mess up, I'm going to have 500 fuel on hand. So when Nauvis, when Aquilo sees that I have fuel and it needs a full load of fuel, I won't be drawn out. And we'll have plenty of concrete. There we go. Okay, so here's this stuff. Aquilo is going to be a lot of waiting. Can I put everything? I can't put everything back in. I really do need to add more cargo bays to this. I want to put everything back in here, but I don't want to put everything back in here. Let's grab the stuff that I picked up by picking up things on the ground. Let's grab extra solar panels and accumulators and extra heat pipes. In fact, let's grab all of the nuclear reactor stuff. Okay. I'm trying to make some space here. We're going to need chemical plants. We're going to need heating towers. Well, that's the other thing is that I'm going to try something. I'm going to see if I can have my nuclear reactors providing heat just for boiling the water and use towers fed by rocket fuel, which I didn't import. Let's put it on the list. Use towers using rocket fuel as a heat source for the rest of the base. So you should be sitting here waiting on things including rocket fuel. Yeah, 200 per load. Keep 1,000 on hand. That will work. 1,000 on hand. Shit. We're going to need to have a lot of space available. I need you. Let's grab all of you. Try to move stuff into my inventory so when the rocket loads things in, it'll be good. Let's get a little bit of fuel here. We don't want too much fuel out of here because we don't want to be requesting in all the fuel in the world. That was picked up. Get some of that, and I'm going to see if I can use the other power poles in some designs. One stack of each of these with 2 stacks of those. Yeah, I requested in way too much stuff that I don't need. There we go. So, stuff on my hotbar. I'm going to do the normal thing with the belts. We're going to be using belts from time to time, and I have a lot of muscle memory on those. I will be using yellow inserters in this build. No, I won't. I didn't bring any. I did, however, bring some stack inserters. That'll come in handy. Okay. Again, muscle memory. We have assembling machines. I'm going to put chemical plants out here because we're going to need to be using those shortly. Down here, I'm going to start off with heating towers and nuclear reactor. I'm going to toss the heat pipe in right there. Muscle memory down here. We have pipe. We have pipe to ground. I don't think I'm going to use pumps anywhere, so we'll put the heat pipe in there. The rest of it I'll do as we go. Okay, so the reactors. I want the reactors to be fed from stock. So we're going to go boom. Cannot build on smooth ice. So it's those 6. Once I get all the concrete, I will just concrete the whole thing up. But there we go. You're going to be fuel, but you're not going to be fuel all the time and in every way. I need a combinator. You are also going to be this guy, but you are going to be use filters, depleted uranium cell. Once these guys are heated up, well, actually, let's get those going. I'm going to put in 3 cells into each. Let them get going. We don't have any power yet. Oh, yeah, let's do the power. Solar panels and accumulators. I don't know what the proper ratio is on Aquilo. We'll just have to experiment. That gets us some power. So this guy, the reactor reads out its fuel and its temperature. This inserter is going to move the nuclear fuel. You are here. Override stack size 1. We're going to enable it whenever we see a check mark. No. Kind of in the middle here. I think these guys don't actually need heat pipes over here. So they're just kept warm. You're also input. You're also output. Okay. So this guy, I want to put in 1 check mark, 1 piece of fuel. And I want to do it on the following conditions. First of all, the amount of fuel in the reactors is 0. Okay. And secondly, the temperature of the reactors. Now this is adding up the temperatures of the 2 reactors. So if the temperature of both reactors added together is less than 1100, that will move 1 piece of fuel in. Okay, so there we have it. Currently we are outputting a check mark. These guys should be enabled. Why are we outputting a check mark? Because these are not set to do that. There we go. So temperature is a bit wonky. There we go, 999. So these have come up to temperature. Oh, that guy cannot possibly pick up inventory. There we go. Okay, so this is now negotiating directly with the cargo area for fuel. And you will be producing heat here, which I am going to send out to 4 just do it here. I can find it here faster than I can find it in my own inventory. Yes, I know. This number of reactors can handle a lot more than 4 of these guys. I may have boxed myself in a bit, but let's do the next step. You are going to... Oh, you're going to need heat. I've definitely boxed myself in. Cannot build on brash ice. Can I dolly you forth? Oh, cargo landing pad doesn't support moving. I do not have enough inventory space to handle all of this. I cannot move this guy yet. Okay, we'll just have to do this. What I want to do is I want to set up some heat for the base. This is going to be not connected to the heat from the reactors. And we're going to put in... I don't have anything I can burn yet. When we get fuel, we'll put fuel in there. But this guy is going to say, move in rocket fuel. It's going to read temperature and fuel. Currently the temperature is 15, which is not enough to get us warm. So enable when the temperature, T, what about 30? Hey you, are you ready to go yet? What are you waiting on? We're waiting on belts? Let's decrease our belt numbers. Actually, for the steady state import, 100 per trip is more than enough. So just 1 stack of these per trip. Thank you. What else are you waiting on? Whoa, Nelly. How does Nauvis not have assembling machine 3s? They're waiting on speed module 1s. Okay. Now, when I did all of this, I think I may have not put any speed module 1s in stock. So let's put some of those in stock. I can go to parametric fancy boxes, stock capture here, and we are doing speed module 1s. So you're going to bring us up to a stock of 200. I want to use a red box here. There we go. And let's actually do this on all of the speed module 1s. There we go. Because we need them. Now, we were making them somewhere else. I think I removed it. Yeah. I had some local production of speed module 1s earmarked for those. And I still have them down here. And they're just slow. But now we're faster. For the moment, though, I'm going to knock this down to 50 per trip. So I really want to get my concrete. Okay. So if these guys are only providing heat to these, I need to design a system where I can get these guys. Those guys will need to get warmed from this guy. And I need to be able to sneak in through there. So this is the base heat. Oh, wait a minute. So this is not quite the right grid here, because this had to be lower. Hold on. Grab all of you. Okay, that works. I do need to put those guys in. We still have fueling going in here. And these guys need to get some fuel in, or some heat in. Why not do this? So when this guy gets warm, that'll work. Temporarily, I'm going to do this. This is definite overkill. This heat pipe doesn't need to be quite so hot. And if I don't use it, that means it will use less nuclear fuel here. We'll lose less heat overall because this base only needs to be a lower temperature. And now we need to get water in. So this guy needs ice. Let's get something going here real quick. Leave a gap to bring heat through because I know we're going to need it. You are melting ice. And that means that we need a thingy coming in here. I need a requester chest. I'm going to need to put in a bot at some point. at least get that going. You are going to be requesting in ice. So we now have a significant amount of steam turbine power available. So apparently you dropped your stuff and you're going back. No. You apparently didn't drop anything at Aquilo. What if I say all requests satisfied here? Now you are requesting stuff in. You need to stop requesting the starter stuff in. You need to. Okay, so we're getting that. Yay. So stuff, I'm going to pull stuff into my inventory that I don't particularly care about anymore. We'll put it in a steel box somewhere. Boom, boom, boom. Don't particularly care about you guys. You're not being pulled in here. There. Now you're all requests fulfilled. You just need to sit and make rockets. Well, I turned you around. You were most of the way the other way. That's fair. Okay, so grab the concrete. Now I set up some blueprints. Obviously this is on the wrong grid. So I set these up for 18 by 18, and then I put the absolute in. So 0, 0 would put in. I'm gonna work out the new numbers. Need to go up and to the left by a bunch. Okay, that's too far. -6, -6. Okay, so 6. There we go. You're back on grid. I wouldn't have noticed that. So my numbers are -6, -6 for all of this. This is the same grid, but it's only the top left corner. So that allows us to place single substations on the grid. This is whole cells of subfloor that I'm going to place down now. So we've got nine of these, and it's going to place the concrete wherever it can. I had a solar power plan. No snap to grid on it. This is the heat power that I was working with in my editor based on design that Nauvis did a year ago. It's all based on burning carbon that you download from orbit or rocket fuel you download from orbit. to get power. I'm not going to use this. And nuclear power, this is the minimal nuclear power that I worked out, and I like this. I'm going to use it. I'm going to tear up what I've got so far, and I'm going to use this one instead. Yeah, I like it so much, I'm just going to go zap. Okay, so you are that. Okay, so it's trying to put stuff out there. It's probably the ice. Yeah, I don't have ice platforms. I think I've used up all of my ice platforms now. And yeah, that was a bad move. Pick up all of that stuff. I tried to put too much in place at once. Okay. There's my nuclear power. This is predicated on having one heat grid for everything. We're not going to have one heat grid for everything. You have rocket fuel. I am going to sever this link right here. Okay, so you get cooled down because you got connected to a bunch of cool stuff. You guys are going to be frozen until I fuel you up, aren't you? I do want to carry 4 nuclear fuel on me at all times. Okay. And we can't really put out roboports until this is ready to go. Let's do subfloor there. It's amazing. I spend a couple of hours on a nuclear plant offline, and it's going to be a better design than what I put together in a couple of minutes online. How about that? Efficiency modules, you need to get installed. You're there. Okay, so this temperature's decreasing. This will kick it when it gets down to 30. I'm hoping 30 is warm enough. Now is the time, I think. Are these guys producing power? They should be, except we don't have ice in there. There we go. So I just noticed something. We're still off by 1 on the subfloors. This needs to be down and to the right by 1. So we're actually minus 5. Minus 5 centers it. Yeah, I don't want to be spending my ice platforms on this stuff quite yet. We need to get ice platforms actually being made. I think I'm going to move my power over to the right, so I think we're going to need to be interacting with water there. Yeah. This is the ice platform area. Okay. Roboport. We're gonna get a Roboport, finally. I would like to put it like there. There we go. So based on this Roboport reading out stuff, I want to set up this guy with a proper requester. How am I going to get heat through that corner? Oh, that was not planned. That was not planned at all. I do need to move that, move all this stuff around a little bit so I can get some heat in through there. Okay, so we're going to move everything out. It's going to take a while. Let's see. You going into a purple chest. Like that. Okay, and you need some logistics robots. I haven't made any yet. I need advanced circuits and flying robot frames. Anyway, that'll get us some. Should have done that before I started doing those in. So you can't insert it back in, unfortunately. I don't know why. Actually, you can. Okay. Concrete we have. Starting from the top again, what do I want to be carrying? Oh, what I want to be carrying is just enough to get the robots out so we can have the robots supply me with the stuff I really want to be carrying, huh? So, crafting. There we go. And I also need, let's see, logistics. I'm going to request in robots. And when I get them, I'm going to put them in there. I'm going to request in flying robot frames so I can make more robots. I'm going to request in red chips and green chips so I can make more robots. Here we just got sent stuff. Being sent stuff is good. Yay! And you have to go back and get another load. Why isn't that heating him? Oh, we're only at 15 degrees C. Okay, so we are reading out a higher temperature because this is here, but it's not conducting it over to there. Okay. Do I want to do a proper requester here? I do want to do a proper requester here. So leave that off for the moment. And let's go get our proper requester layout from Nauvis. I think I'm going to want to reorganize this here before I take it away. Okay, so oops, somewhere I've got some power. So for Aquilo, your things you want to request down are going to be Aquilo uranium load and Aquilo import times 5. Let's bring out 5 loads of import. There we go. That's what I want to import. I'm going to fold you guys together. Fold you guys together. So what I want to do is put you where you can be heated. How do you not have any fuel? Oh, right. That's unfortunate. I think we ran out of water. We ran out of ice. We ran out of ice on Aquilo. I don't freaking believe it. Don't trash unrequested. Any ice in here? Yes, there is. No, we've got plenty of ice. Oh, we just... Apparently it's nighttime. I guess we just gotta wait for day to get power to kick this over. So I can have ice in here and ice in here. I'm also going to request in some rocket fuel so I can kickstart the heater if I need to. Okay, this is at 29.9 and it is chilled. So I clearly need to bring this up higher than 30. How hot does this have to be to unfreeze? Well, I guess it has to be connected, right? Yeah. Okay, so this doesn't connect on the bottom and top. It has to connect out the middle, and you have to actually connect it. So we have to do that. There we go. My bad. And now we have a trickle of energy coming in. And now we've got real energy coming in. And now I can put back down the roboports. Okay. I need some... So right now we have 49 logistics and 0 construction bots in the network. Let's put some construction bots in. Warm those guys up. Apparently this guy doesn't need to be unfrozen. I doubt that. Okay, so you're turning out this stuff. Keep only items where we have a net shortfall, so we need... Your input needs to come from one of these guys. So there's the inputs. There's the outputs. No, that's the wrong one. Keep the items where we have only a net shortfall is wrong. Quantity we want minus quantity we have. So red needs to go to the input of this guy. Why is this and this? Oh. Net positive. Okay. Big problem in software engineering when your comments are out of date. So we have our inputs here. So this guy is what we're reading out for logistics network. We're going to peel off the negative ones that we get when a robot is picking up something. like it's our quantities. We come in here and we say red, which is the quantity we have, subtracted from the quantity we want gives us the net. And we come out here and we keep only the net that we want pulled in. And that goes down here. And this says add another rocket's worth. And that goes down here. And this says set requests. So we now have proper requests for what we want to pull down. And I think the way we've done this, anything that's actually in here is going to count twice. Now at this point, I think I just have to patiently wait for the robots to file everything away, recharge, so I am going to stop the recording here. I will continue playing this, I will continue sitting here watching these guys until they have successfully filed away all of our goodies and we actually have a stable system here. This is sitting here at 1,000 degrees C because I put in too much fuel. That's fine. I'm interested in seeing this not do that kind of thing. I don't have the ability to capture steam or buffer. Didn't think of that. I could move all this to the right a bit and have a steam buffer out here, but yeah, I'm sure that we would have to do things like make sure that our steam guys were heated, even though they're carrying steam. Anyway, this guy is at 960, this guy is at 77 degrees C, and we are still keeping these guys warm. We are inserting fuel anytime we go below 50. So I'm also going to find out at what temperature these guys freeze by just watching. So I will see you in the next recording.